Let's go to our chief election analyst, Tom Connell, who I said you nailed it. I hope you heard that, because you did call it first. You called it first. You were cautious, but you got it right, as always. And unfortunately, Stephen Miles wasn't watching you, because he should have been before he gave the speech.
Look, I'll just tonight, I love giving my opinion Monday to Friday, but Saturday nights, Kieran, I stick to the numbers. Let's have a look, first of all. I always look at these broad numbers because they usually tell a story. You can see the swing here, about 6%, two-party preferred, a little bit more. And that number's growing more and more through the night. We've seen that increase greatly as well through that pre-poll. So that's why we said keep waiting, keep waiting. Look how much that's gone now at the moment into the blue, into majority. We saw it hovering at 51 at one stage. It went backwards. That's why we kept saying wait for those pre-poll numbers. They're likely to outperform. What's that meant for the LNP? 49 seats, so they get over the target of 47, 34 at the moment for Labor, 6 undecided. I'm predicting that the LNP will end up on 50 to 51. I don't think they'll get Maiwar as one. There are a couple that are really close out of the rest of the undecided, so I think the Greens will end up on 1. No more for Katter or Independents, and I think we'll see about 3 more, if you like, for Labor, 3 or 4 more, so 38 to about 51. But it's certainly a governable majority if you think of that 47, 3 or 4 spare positions. You never know what happens, of course, in government. So where did this happen? Where was it won? We knew, of course, Townsville's always a likely way. This is the map at the start of the night. This is how things are unplaying as the vote's happening right now. So you can see that turn blue. The concern at the start of the night for the LNP was, would KAP take any of these seats? The answer in the end was no. The other one was the Sunshine Coast. Now, a lot of these seats didn't look that promising at the start, despite, look at these small margins, 0.1, 2.5, Nicklin and Caloundra, Bundaberg as well and Hervey Bay, but those pre-polls told the story. So again, that's the start of the night, then we get the live count. Look how much of that has turned blue. Bundaberg for now is holding off at 2.79%. So it's not always the smallest margin that falls, is it? But a lot of that in the end did a lot of the work. And then to get that majority and get them over the line, they had to make some progress in Brisbane. Again, that didn't look good earlier on in the night. Let's go to the Brisbane suburbs and surrounds for some of the seats here. You can see some of these margins are a little bit bigger. Redcliffe and Redlands took a while, but eventually they were seats as well. The LNPs moved ahead in, and we did in the end call Redcliffe and there they go, and Redlands. So I've done 2 hits of the button there, but as you see, so it was across the board. Queensland's decentralised. You always need multiple areas. Brisbane has been better for the Labor Party, but the LNP did still have to make up that ground. This is what the map looks like. Again, this is the start of the night. The red here in the middle that Labor were dominating. You can still see a few greys of undecided, but the LNP able to get enough blue dots to eventually get a majority. And I know there's been a bit of talk around what does this mean for a federal election, and we're careful not to say it's an exact science, but I think we should start with the Greens because they didn't go as well as they thought they would. This is the seat of Brisbane. These are the seats that overlap, Clayfield, McConnell and Stafford, and this is what the Greens have done in their primary there. So down in 2 of them, up slightly in the others. So not the best result in Brisbane, remembering that's a 3.7% margin. Ryan as well. Again, these overlapping seats, 3 of these primaries are down. Quite significant when we look at Maiwar, which at the moment is obviously in the balance in terms of a state point of view. And then Griffith, the seat as well of Max Chandler-Mather, you can see better performance so far there in the primary, albeit down in South Brisbane where they've lost that seat. So the Green surge did not happen. Another couple of ones to look at. The most relevant seats, Blair, you're seeing a big chunk out of Labor's vote. Look, you still are also seeing two-party preferred there in Ipswich and Ipswich West where they won the seat back. So I don't think massive alarm bells, but it will be interesting nonetheless. We'll have a quick look at Longman as well. So again, this is how the LNP primary's gone, up steadily there. It's a small margin federally, so that will be of some comfort. And then finally up north, Leichhardt. So we know there are a few different factors that were fueling some seats going the other way. And you're also seeing pretty steady swings there towards the LNP and the retiring Warren Entsch, of course. So that's the story in terms of the federal overlay. But when we look at tonight, it is still the state election. We're going to see the LNP form a clear majority. We'll see how high they get, still with 6 seats undecided.